If you want to optimize your trading with price action, then the Fibonacci tool is definitely the right choice. Today, I'll show you how to apply all of this, and of course, I'll explain everything else, what all of this really is. Hey guys, and welcome to the new video. We are here on TradingView, and if you look up there on the left, you'll find the Fibonacci tool, which is what we're focusing on today. You can also add this as a favorite here with the star. As a favorite, it will then appear at the top of your small bar. That means we can invite ourselves there at any time. At this moment, the entire thing looks very colorful. We're going to adjust the whole thing a bit now, but before that, let me roughly explain how the whole thing works. So let's just consider a very typical chart. It moves in waves, and we can utilize the tool perfectly for that purpose of analyzing trends. So here's the first tip right away on how you can use all of this for your trading, how you can draw all of this. So you grab your tool, and in my upward trend, you consistently move from the bottom to the top. That means you take the lowest point and go to the highest point. Then we draw the entire thing like this. So generally, this means, okay, we can now open trades here towards long because we are long oriented exactly at these points that you see here. This implies that we can take a long position here using the Fibonacci indicator, we can take a long position with it, and so on and so forth. That means we could potentially open a trade at every line here. So at this point, obviously, we still do not know at which lines we can truly execute the most advantageous trades. For that, we will go back to the more detailed chart, but maybe once again for a downtrend, it works just as well. So, in case we observe a downtrend at this point, we would utilize the Fibonacci tool to draw a line from the most recent high to the most recent low, and subsequently search for a trading opportunity within this region to sustain trading in alignment with the trend, specifically towards the short direction. So before we dive into the chart, let's open up the tool first, because we need to simplify things a bit. Let's quickly go into the settings and adjust it as follows. I have currently established it in a way that we actually only utilize the initial and second Fibonacci numbers at this location. More relaxed. We don't have as many lines. You can see it in the background. I've changed colors to green. So this means that the whole thing should look like this for you. And of course, you can also save it as a template down here, save it for yourselves, give it a name like buy level or whatever you like, then save it, and you will find it down here under templates. Of course, you can also create several templates easily. Now let's go to the chart and take a look at our first example of application here. So first and foremost, we need to know, okay, the whole thing is in an uptrend here. If we look to the left, it's definitely going up. At the moment, we are waiting for a very clear uptrend here, a very clear, strong signal where everything really moved quickly upwards, and we knew, okay, this will definitely maybe correct again at some point in the future. Now let's take the Fibonacci tool and move from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. Then we naturally transfer that over to the right, and you can already observe what occurred here. The chart ascended entirely here, shifted horizontally a bit, descended here, and we were capable of utilizing this as an excellent entry point here. That means from there we should then search for an entry point, but please do not just go to the level and say, yes, I will just buy blindly there. No, we need a clear signal that the whole thing is going long. In this case, that would be now that we might have looked for an entry somewhere down here in the smaller time frame. We then place the stop loss below the last low and let it run. Now, of course, we don't know how far it will go. It won't explode every time. That would be too good to be true. Therefore, we naturally need to look for a take profit, and it really makes sense for you to simply mark the high on the left side here and say, okay, that would be my take profit now. So in this region, my take profit target would essentially be the highest point that you just utilized to draw this Fibonacci retracement level here. So why does all this really fall into this category, and why is this zone so good now? This is that typical golden zone that everyone always talks about because it's usually around 50%, which the market then falls back to, as it's assumed that the whole thing moves in waves, as we discussed at the beginning, always up and down, and here it would really be the halfway point. You can of course measure it from the top down, which is really 0.5% here below. You can see the whole thing, and the whole thing has risen from up here. Approximately 1% is roughly in line with the 50%. We also had a bit more selling pressure in this area, so we need to look at the whole region and definitely wait for price action to confirm a direction from this area. Now, let's take a look at a short example to further illustrate this point. Here we had a significant sell-off. Clearly, we can also draw a Fibonacci from the top, but that would take too long, so we need to look for another extreme sell-off here on the way now. Before, there was nothing, but then there was definitely a sell-off, which means we could have utilized it again here. So, how do we draw it? This time we take the high, not the low, the other way around, and you can already see what happened here. The whole thing came down perfectly into our zone again, and from there, you could search for a short entry. That means we could have initiated a short trade here again. In this area, place your stop loss above the zone, really wait for it. You can even enter a bit later. It doesn't matter at all if you give the chart a bit of breathing room. Then, of course, we look for our take profit. Where would that be? Yes, you already possess knowledge about this area, which is our zone. This implies that you can either be positioned right at the front of the zone or, alternatively, you can choose to be at the most down here, at the last low point. In this particular scenario, it would result in a 2-to-1 trade, enabling you to easily engage in short trading within this area. It is evident that this tool can be highly effective when used in conjunction with price action, allowing you to accurately capture a specific trend. It is worth noting that its effectiveness is reduced in sideways trends, as a clear uptrend or downtrend is required. If you are unsure about the concept of uptrends and downtrends, I have a video on my channel that explains it. Please feel free to check it out and consider subscribing. To summarize, what have we learned? We draw Fibonacci retracement levels from the last low point to the high point, and this process can be repeated in an uptrend. In any case, it is advisable to prefer a larger time frame in the smaller time frame, such as a 5-minute chart. Of course, this works as well, but the smaller the time frame, the more challenging it will be for you to truly identify these Fibonacci zones, and for a short trade, it's exactly the opposite. That means from the last high, we reverse the process to the low and can then perfectly buy more here. This is how you draw the whole thing, so you can definitely use Fibonacci here perfectly for your trading. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like, subscribe to this channel for free so you don't miss anything in the future. If you're interested in trading and want to learn more, feel free to join our free Telegram group where we can discuss everything further. We're already 400 plus, so feel free to join us. We're happy about every new member. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'd say see you in the next vid. Until then, take care. Bye.